Good evening to all my fellow Jews and other believers and kuffars and infidels. You're tuned into the Rudeboy kitchen, and tonight we're going to be making Jew-maican, not Jamaican. I said Jew-maican because I am Jewish, you know. Jew-maican Shabbat chicken soup, Sephardic style in a Babylon tonight. You better believe it. What you're going to need is 3 knives. You're going to need a soup spoon, some vegetable oil, and you're going to need some cock soup. No, it's not a male's private part. It's a cock, as a rooster. And you're going to need some salt. You're going to need carrots, escallion, a bit of lemon, give that zesty taste. Potatoes, yams, but this is pre-cut. Some yam. And some okras and plain flour for those lovely dumplings. Now, I'm going to roll up my sleeves and we're going to start to prepare the soup. You'll also need some chicken. I sliced some chicken breast, kosher meat. Some of you are halal eaters, some maybe not, but chicken breast. And cut them up into strips or chunks, whatever you prefer. And we're going to make this soup. Now, we're going to start with the chicken. We'll take a chicken breast and we cut the chicken into strips. I'll just make it a bit finer. So now I pre-cut some chicken. Get a chicken breast and boneless chicken breast, cut them up. And then you put all the chicken, when it's all cut up, in a bowl or whatever you prefer to get it all together. And what we're going to do, we are going to squeeze some lemon over the chicken. It's that lovely, extra clean, zesty taste. And we're going to wash the chicken. When the chicken is washed, you just put it in the pot. Make sure that the pot is on and it's got hot water from boiling it, of course. Cold water, then turn it on and you can see there's little bubbles forming. That's the temperature you want. You put the chicken in. And then you let that cook for about 10 minutes. So we'll give that 10 minutes and then we'll come back. Right, now we're back after, it was actually 15 minutes. So for some people it's 10, depends on how high your fire is. As you can see, it's all the fat and all the starch. I'm going to get rid of that. What you do, you just skim it off like so. Put it in something where it's going to go down the sink anyway. You just skim off all the fat. the fat and starch of the chicken and being boiled. You don't want a nice soup with that in it, do you? No, 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 no. You don't want none of that. So continue letting it boil for a little bit. See if we go and see, it looks a bit clearer now. So it's supposed to look like that. Just a little bit of starch, it's not going to hurt. So you clear that starch, get all of it, with most to the best of your ability. There we are. So all that chicken has just been boiled to flavour in there. Right, before we continue, I need to help myself concentrate. So I'm going to pour myself one of these, Jack Daniels. I know some of you may need Bacardi, Baileys, whatever you drink, maybe a glass of wine perhaps. And some cheap 59p cola. I'm such a cheapskate sometimes. Anyway, pour the cheap cola in there. Got some ice still in there. This is my brain food. Lovely. Right, so now I use some sanitizer to clean the board. We're gonna cut a potato. So you peel the potato. And we cut them in chunks or sections. And put them in there. Just start off my hands. Then we have some okras. But what I do, I cut the top off and the bottom, so they look like this. These are some I have pre-cut. So we put them in the bowl. Some okras. And we also want some carrots. Peel some carrots. These ones are pre-cut. I'll peel a carrot. And people may not know how to peel them. But yes, those people do exist. So we'll peel these carrots right here. Some people can use a carrot peeler, but I'm a man's man, I'm old school, so I use the knife, you know, like I'm in the army. Right, what we're going to do, I'm going to cut the carrots into circles, cut them into pieces. Fingers, because you don't want to cut your fingers off and put them with the carrots now, do you? Put the carrots in the bowl. Now you want to get some yams, just a few pieces, just a few small pieces I had left. So I look very bad actually. And then you need escallion. Cut them up too. All my oil in there. Cut them up fine. And voila! Your bowl should look something like this. I had a few more carrots actually. And then what you do, you wash the veg. Come on. And you wash the veg. And you will need a strainer. Put it all into a strainer. Or let the strainer catch some of it, obviously. And you can put it right back into the blue bowl if you feel. Whatever method you feel, depends how much you've cut. And then you add the veg into the boiling pot with the chicken. And what you will now need is, where are we? A soup spoon. You get some vegetable oil, put it on the soup spoon, and 1 full soup spoon vegetable oil, put it in there. And you're going to wonder, why is he doing that? It's to help the vegetable not stick to the meat and gives it that nice little food lubrication maybe. I'm not quite sure about that method, but it's nice anyway. Put it in there. And then you put the lid on part way, like that. Then you put the fire on a low fire. And that will cook for 35 minutes. And then we'll come back to add the cock soup. Remember, it's not a male private part. It's a cock, as a a rooster. And then you clean up after yourself in the process. And now what we're gonna do, set my side up. Clean up. We're going to make some dumplings. Right. For the dumplings, you're going to need some flour. Plain flour, not self-raising, plain. And you put the flour in a bowl. I actually free pour, but it should look something like this. In a bowl like, let me see. I'm a home cook, I do free pouring, so it would be something like. Okay. A free pour. And then you add some water. Now you want about, you want to get the flour, let's use your hands and mix it around. You want the flour to be like very doughy. So you can sprinkle salt. Put some salt in your hand, in the palm of your hand. Not that much that you can see it, not so much. I'm a free pourer, so you know I don't really measure. You just mix it in with the flour. And then you want the flour to be something like this, so that you can, it's like this. It feels nice and squidgy. That's how you want it. So then you roll it in a ball. And you put it in a pot of boiling water. Now, why not the soup? You want to boil the dumplings separate and then add them to the soup. Otherwise, if you put them straight in the soup, you can end up with a very cloudy soup, and it's not going to taste all that nice now, is it? So you boil the dumplings to when they're cooked, to when they're a nice cooked light brown, and then you'll add them in the soup. So you put the dumplings in a pot, and these are going to be cooking for, I would say, about 15 minutes. You can roll them into balls, or you can make them like spinners. You can roll them in a ball, or you can make them long, depends. So you can roll them like this, like that. Oh, I've got flour stuck in my hand. So you just take a piece and just rub your hands together like a stick. Put them in there. So it depends, whatever way you like your dumplings, however you want them to look. I like them like that. Oh, and not forgetting, you want to add a little bit of oil. I would say tablespoon of oil. That help, and then just move the dumplings around a bit. The oil helps the dumplings not stick to the pot as much, you know. So make enough dumplings. Now after 15 minutes, you turn off the fire and let it simmer. And then when the soup is ready, you add the dumplings to the soup and let it settle for 5 minutes, and then it'll be ready to serve. Right, we're 20 minutes into the soup, from adding the veg, of course. What we need now is the cock soup. Haha. Just tear it. I know some people put it in very early, but I actually let the veg and the chicken cook first to let all the flavours loose. As you can see, it's a hint of green from the okra. You add the cock soup, 1 packet. 1 packet's enough. And then you stir it slightly, like clockwise and anti-clockwise stirring. And what you need now is salt, and I think you want, remember our free pour, that's how you get the best food. You don't want regiment, so about that much on the spoon, on the soup spoon. Put it in and stir it around. And you can use Scotch bonnet. I'm out of them, but since I'm out of Scotch bonnet, I use some hot pepper sauce instead. So I put some on the spoon, again about that much, and put it into the soup and stir it around. It's better with Scotch bonnet. Couldn't get hold of any today. My shop didn't have any. Then put the lid on, and that will cook for the remainder of the 15 minutes. And then when it's finished, you let it simmer, and then you add the boiled dumplings to the soup, and then you let it all simmer. Now the dumplings should look like this. The water should be like whitish, very whitish. That means the dumpling will be like a very goldeny brown. And that means they are ready. I'll just let them go for about another 3 minutes, I think. And then you can switch them off, and when the soup is ready, the switched off dumplings, you just strain them, and then you put them into the soup. And then you're ready to eat the soup when the soup is finished, obviously. And then you're ready to serve. Right. It's been about 35 to 40 minutes. Now is the time of reckoning. The soup should now look like this. Got the dumplings. I'm gonna put them in a strainer. Sometimes some of them do stick to the pan, so I have to put the oil in. So you have to try and get them off. It's a pain sometimes. Sometimes it does, sometimes it don't. Right, so I've strained off the dumplings. And what I'm going to do is add the dumplings to the soup. And voila! Now let that cook for about 5 minutes, and then dinner is served. Now we're going to take the soup out. Look at that. It's lovely. Soup should look really nice. And get some chicken in there. Got my okras in there. Some more dumpling. Some more carrot. See it there? Right. Some potato. Now, it should look a little something like that. Let me taste this. Oh, Jewmaican Shabbat chicken soup.